Is 2026 just another year, or are we living inside a Simpsons rerun that's about to go full disaster movie on us? If you've ever laughed at their absurd predictions, Trump as president, smartwatches, viral chaos, well, buckle up, because the punchline is looking way too real. I'm here to roast the weirdest, wildest, and most uncomfortably accurate prophecies from TV's yellowest family. I'm your host, and today we're going on a 3-act journey from cartoon jokes to economic collapse to the AI apocalypse and to time-bending chaos. Ever heard of predictive programming? It's like Nostradamus with more donuts and bad hair. And singularity? Picture all those crazy gadgets merging into one super brain that might just delete your bank account and your breakfast. You're thinking, it's just a cartoon, how bad could it get? But as 2026 rolls in, the jokes are getting darker, the risks realer, and the stakes, well, let's just say this isn't a treehouse of horror. Are you ready for a roast of the future you can't opt out of? Let's dive into the first prediction. And trust me, it only goes downhill from here. Remember that Simpsons episode where Springfield turns into a dystopian wasteland because a tech giant implodes and drags everyone down with it? Hilarious, right? Except in 2026, it's not so funny when Meta, Google, or Amazon start looking less like innovators and more like ticking time bombs. We've got monopoly power. Think of one company as the only pizza place in town that also sells you your phone, your news, and if they feel like it, your identity. Then there's systemic risk, which is basically the digital version of Jenga. Pull the wrong block and the whole economy goes splat. Now you might be thinking, but those companies are too big to fail. Yeah, that's what they said about the Titanic. Meta's drowning in scandals. Google's battling lawsuits. Amazon's got workers with more picket signs than deliveries. All it takes is one slip, and we're living that Simpsons nightmare, but with less slapstick and more stock market panic. So, what happens when everyone stops trusting the tech giants? You get public backlash, which is fancy speak for millions of people rage quitting their accounts and uninstalling apps faster than you can say data breach. And then there's regulatory. Clampdown picture government regulators with the subtlety of a sledgehammer trying to fix problems they barely understand. Now I know you're thinking, but they'll just innovate their way out. Sure, if innovation means more ads, more tracking, and privacy policies written in Klingon. The cracks are showing, workers are striking, governments are circling, and customers are realizing their data is worth more than their actual bank accounts. If the Simpsons were right, 2026 is the year the trust finally snaps. When that happens, don't expect a gentle transition. Expect chaos, confusion, and a lot of digital detox retreats suddenly booked solid. Let's play a game called What If Amazon Vanishes Tomorrow? That's called systemic shock. One tech domino falls and the rest, they collapse like a stack of unpaid Amazon returns. Contagion effect is the official term. It means one screw up triggers global meltdown faster than you can say recession. Now you might ask, didn't we survive the crypto crash in Silicon Valley Bank? Sure, and people also survived the Titanic, some of them. A giant tech collapse in 2026 means stock markets nosedive, currencies go haywire, and jobs vanish like your Wi-Fi during a lightning storm. The Simpsons made it a joke, but if 2026 gets its blackout episode, your digital life might be gone in a blink. Wondering if your food delivery app will survive? Spoiler, no one's delivering when the servers are burning. Flashback to that Simpsons episode with robot overlords taking over. Funny, right? Until you realize that by 2026, AI isn't just writing your emails, it's deciding who gets a loan, who gets parole, and maybe who gets nuked if it's having a bad day. Let's talk machine learning. Imagine a toddler who never sleeps and just keeps getting smarter. and algorithmic bias. It's like a bouncer who lets in everyone who looks like him and leaves you freezing outside. Now, you might protest, but humans program these things, right? And we all know how flawless humans are. When AI is tangled up in elections, justice, and your job application, suddenly that Simpsons joke about robots running the world isn't so far-fetched. Welcome to the future where your new boss is a toaster. Picture this. It's 2026 and AI systems are making calls in healthcare, finance, policing, even war. That's called autonomous decision making, letting the computer flip the coin and hoping it lands on heads. And deep fake, that's when your grandma FaceTimes you and somehow she's also Elvis. You might argue there are regulations, right? Sure, just like there are lifeguards at the Olympics, governments are always 3 steps behind while the tech sprints ahead. The Simpsons joked about robot overlords, but we're basically one dodgy update away from an AI declaring casual Fridays compulsory permanently. If you think your supervisor lacks empathy, wait until your performance review is written by an algorithm with no off button. Who's hungry for great flavorless food? The Simpsons were apparently in one episode. The only thing on the menu is lab-made blandness. Fast forward to 2026, and the joke's on us. Climate change is pushing us toward a future where your burger is more chemistry set than cow. Lab-grown meat is frankenfood, but with a PR team. Food insecurity, that's when you open the fridge and all you see is plant-based despair. Overpopulation, crop failures, and billionaire startups are turning food into another Silicon Valley product. Now, I know you're thinking plant-based burgers are the future. Maybe, but if fresh tomatoes become rarer than honest politicians, the Simpsons synthetic food episode won't feel so funny as we all line up for our daily ration of gray cubes. Let's get bleak. What happens when real food is a luxury? Welcome to agro-tech disruption, where every carrot has a patent and every steak comes with a firmware update. Supply chain fragility means one storm or one virus and suddenly pasta costs more than rent. You're probably thinking, they'll just make more food in labs. Sure, if you don't mind dinners that taste like printer ink and moral compromise. The Simpsons made it a joke, but by 2026, synthetic meals could be a necessity, not a choice. So, when you pour oat milk in your coffee, just remember, you're living in the prequel to the world's weirdest episode of Chopped. Remember when the Simpsons stock market crash turned Springfield into a riot zone? In 2026, it's looking less like a cartoon and more like next Tuesday. Rising inflation and record national debts? That's macroeconomic instability, basically. Your wallet's about to get ghosted. Liquidity crisis is the technical term for the moment when banks don't have enough cash to give you your money, but they still have enough for a CEO bonus. Ring any bells? One bad slip in China, the U.S., or the EU, and the economic dominoes start dropping faster than Grandpa Simpson's dentures. You might say, we've seen recessions before. Sure, but this time everything's global and instant. One crash and your Venmo balance is as trustworthy as Mo's bar tab. The Simpsons once exaggerated hurricanes, snowpocalypses, and blazing heat. But here's the punchline. 2026 could see Springfield weather for real. We're talking superstorms and climate migration. Imagine your morning commute involving a kayak and SPF 1000. You might say it's just weather. Sure, until insurance companies drop you faster than Homer drops a donut. The summer of 2023 was a glimpse, crops failing, power grids dying, and scientists waving red flags like it's a parade for the apocalypse. As climate chaos ramps up, the Simpsons jokes feel like tomorrow's headlines. How long before every area code is a disaster zone and your weather app just says, good luck, space tourism? The Simpsons made it look ridiculous, and 2026 might make them look optimistic. Commercial spaceflight is just rich people cosplaying as astronauts, while carbon footprint is basically the world's biggest exhaust pipe into the stratosphere. You might ask, isn't this the future? Sure, if your future involves experimental rockets and billionaires betting their lives for Instagram clout. Space isn't forgiven one era, and it's not just a failed launch. It's a cautionary tale for the ages. So when 2026's space race hits turbulence, just remember, the Simpsons predicted the chaos, right down to the part where the only survivors are the ones who stayed home with their cats. The Simpsons have roasted the American political circus for decades. But as 2026 nears, Democratic backsliding, that's when elections look more like reality TV and misinformation, cascade fake news multiplying like rabbits are becoming the new normal. You might think it's all just partisan noise, but when trust crumbles, so does stability. The aftermath of 2024's election is still simmering, and the next wave could be outright chaos. Protests, shutdowns, maybe even whispers of authoritarianism. If the Simpsons are right, 2026 won't be about left or right. It'll be about whether the whole system can even stand. Grab your popcorn, because this is less I voted sticker and more I survived patch. Remember when Homer broke time and turned Springfield into chaos? Turns out quantum computing and entanglement aren't just for sci-fi, they're real, and scientists are inching toward unraveling time itself. Not joking. Now you might say, time travel's impossible, right? Well, so was everything else until it wasn't. If we ever learn to bend time, every butterfly effect meme becomes a survival guide. A tiny change and poof, welcome to the wrong timeline. The Simpsons warned us in cartoon form. But if 2026 is the year we mess with time, maybe we'll all wish we could go back to when our biggest problem was resetting the VCR clock. In one of their darkest episodes, The Simpsons hinted at global conflict spiraling out of control. Sound over the top? Not when you consider military escalation, bigger bombs, faster missiles, and cyber warfare, which is basically hacking everything but your grandma's toaster. You might be thinking, that's just cartoon drama. But with Russia, China, NATO, and the U.S. all on edge, reality is catching up fast. One miscalculation, and the dominoes fall hard just like The Simpsons predicted, except with fewer sight gags and more panic rooms. If history repeats and no one pays attention, 2026 could be the episode nobody wants to watch. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to take our warnings from cartoons instead of politicians. So, what have we learned from this wild ride through Simpsons prophecy? 3 things. 1, the line between joke and headline is thinner than Homer's hair. 2, ignoring cartoons might be the new definition of hubris. And 3, 2026 is shaping up to be the year of cartoon reality crossover. That's predictive programming meets chaos theory, order and disorder in a dance as clumsy as Bart on a clump skateboard. Here's your action step. Don't just laugh off the warnings. If The Simpsons can predict the future, maybe it's time to pay closer attention to the punchlines. Follow the money, question the technology, and for the love of all things yellow, maybe start stocking up on real food. Next episode, we'll dig into the creepiest, most bizarre predictions that haven't come true yet. Will they finally nail the end of the world, or just another Super Bowl winner? Hit subscribe, and remember, if you're not worried yet, you're probably already a cartoon character.